Welcome to the Teacher's Compass podcast. I'm your host, Louise Schwartz, a former teacher turned entrepreneur, and I'm here to offer guidance, direction, and practical support for teachers and teaching assistants who are feeling overwhelmed and questioning their place in education. Hi, and welcome back to another episode. How are you this week? I'm assuming most of you will have finished for half term this week. My kids finished yesterday, and I'm guessing quite a lot of you did too. So I bet you're looking forward to a week off from school and being able to do lots of things that you want to do, catching up with friends and family and going out and just generally relaxing for the week. Which leads me on to our topic for today, which is all about school holidays and are the school holidays keeping you in teaching? Because I know for me, it was something that was a real bonus, particularly when my children were younger, that I had that time during the holidays and I could spend time with them and I didn't need to organise any other sort of childcare. We were covered because basically I was off school at the same time as them. But now I am not in teaching anymore. I just wanted to sort of point out that actually, I know I'm not on holiday this next week coming up, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to still working this week and getting things done. And even though the children are off school, I guess mine are all that little bit older now where they can kind of entertain themselves. Although Eva does want to go to IKEA one of the days. So we are going to have to schedule that in. But having that time this week where I can just do a few bits and bobs in and around work is actually all I need. I don't feel like I've got to the point where I already need a week off from Christmas. And I don't think you probably realise that until you step out of teaching, that those school holidays are probably 80% recovery time. In my mind, I used to spend at least 2 or 3 days in each school holiday just recovering from lack of sleep and kind of getting myself back into a bit more of a relaxed feel and not sort of stressing about school and having that sort of nervous energy. I could just relax a little bit and kind of have some time to just rest. I don't need that time now, which is amazing. And when I heard people say that, having left teaching, I was thinking, no, that's a load of rubbish. I don't know how you'd cope without having all of those holidays every year. But do you know what? You don't need them. I do not need a week off this week because I am enjoying what I'm doing for work. I am getting up every morning and thinking, yeah, this is brilliant. I want to do this today. I'm going to do this today. And then I've got lots of other things to fit in. And I go to bed at the end of the day feeling satisfied that I have had a productive and enjoyable day. There is far less frustration in my life now than there ever used to be, and I'm so glad about that. It's amazing. So what are you planning to do with your half term this week? If you've got children, have you got some days out planned? If you don't have children, are you catching up with some friends? Are you just taking some time for yourself? Now, normally in a school holiday, I would have had no time to myself because my children needed sorting out and looking after and taking places and things like that. And actually, school holidays for me weren't and still aren't a time to relax and rest because I've still got to look after my own kids when it gets to the school holidays. And maybe that's something that a lot of people forget is that, yes, teachers do get 13 weeks holiday a year, but there are a lot of teachers that have their own families. And so those 13 weeks of holiday each year are just spent looking after their own kids instead of everybody else's kids. Now, we all know during school holidays, the prices of a holiday anywhere, whether that's UK or abroad, always increases in price. And that's one thing that really frustrates me, particularly when I was younger, before I had children, is that I had to take my holiday time during the most expensive time of the year to go on holiday. Now, if you're feeling exactly the same as that and you haven't got your own children, but are then stuck with those expensive holidays, you don't have to. You don't have to stay in teaching if you don't want to and put up with those super duper expensive holidays. We're still limited to that slightly, again, just because our children are still in school. We're still stuck with going away during school holidays. Otherwise, the government fine us. that is a whole different podcast episode, because I don't agree with anybody being fined for spending time with their children. And going away on holiday with your children is a really special time. And I find it absurd that the government think it's okay to fine people to do that. It really gets my back up, because how dare you? How dare the government tell us when we can and cannot take our children on holiday? If I wasn't a teacher, I would have definitely have taken my kids out of school before that rule came in. Sadly, I've always been a teacher whilst my kids were at school, so I didn't have the opportunity to do that. Anyway, like I say, that's a whole different podcast episode. But I just wanted to come on and say that if you're thinking of leaving teaching and the school holidays are the thing that's keeping you working in education, then honestly, take a big look at that big bad world out there, because you don't need that much holiday. You don't need a job that you've got to spend 6 weeks a year recovering from. And I think if you break it down, if you spent, say, 3 days in each holiday period relaxing and resting from the previous half term, and then you spend at least 1 day, maybe 2 days, prepping for the next half term that's coming up, if you added that all together, you're probably working more days than somebody who only gets 28 days holiday a year, because they know that in those 28 days, they can switch off and they don't have to think about work at all. As teachers, we're always thinking about work, aren't we? And we never get to switch off, and things always carry on, even during the holidays. I know a lot of you will spend time thinking about work, doing work, worrying about work. Wow, life's too short to be worrying about work. So if that's where you're at the moment, go and have a look at the Teacher's Compass Toolkit. It's a guide that will help you to decide if you really do need to leave teaching, and now is that time to make a change for the good of you and your family and step out of the classroom. Now, we talked a few episodes ago about different career roles that you could think of doing. So go and have a listen to that episode and see if there's anything that you think, actually, I would love to pursue that. I'm going to go and have a go at doing that. If you've been following me on any of my social media, you might know that over the last few weeks, I've been talking about a book that I read by a gentleman called Simon Squibb. Now, the book is called What's Your Dream? And it really made me think, when I was reading that book, What's Your Dream?, about what my dream was and what I wanted to do and how I can achieve that in my life. Now I am no longer teaching. I spent a long time grieving my teaching career and the changes that have happened and the fact that I've now stepped out of the classroom. But I'm on the flip side of that now, and I'm looking into the future, and I can see a joyous, happy life that is full of reward. There are so many people that I can help, that I really want to share what I've learned with them and help them to achieve the same sort of lifestyle. I've also been busy this week building my new website, which has caused a few grey hairs, I'll be honest, but I'm getting there. And it's really exciting, this progress that I can see happening, and all of these things that I am putting into place for other people and to help and support people that are in that same position that I was in. It's really exciting. Which leads me back round to half term again. I know this week I have got so many things that I still want to do. And this week's just going to be a normal week for me. I am going to continue as normal. I am going to carry on building that website. I am going to carry on helping as many teachers as I can. And I'm also going to be working in the software business with my brother that we run together. And I'm going to be doing some work helping those clients with their needs as well. I don't need time to switch off from any of those things at the moment, because I am enjoying everything about my working life at the moment, which is brilliant. And I'm so excited to say that. And do you know what? You could say that too. If you are not enjoying your life at the moment, really sit down, have a look at it, and see where you can make some changes. Because if it's not fun, why are we doing it? I think that might be my new motto in life. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Just want to have fun and enjoy myself and enjoy every single day and be grateful for every day that I get to help others and be with my family and just be alive in this amazing world. It's fabulous. If you stepped out of the classroom too and you're working in a role that doesn't have 13 weeks holiday a year, drop me a message or leave a comment on the podcast. I would love to know what you're doing now and how you feel about school holidays now, and whether leaving behind those school holidays has had a negative impact on you and your working life, or whether it's had a positive impact on you. I'll be honest, leaving behind those school holidays was something that I was really worried about and wasn't sure whether I would be able to cope with it. I guess that's because all I've ever known is teaching. I went to school myself, I went to college, I got my PGCE, and then I started teaching, and that's all I've ever done. So all I've ever known is 6 weeks off during the summer holidays, not working in August, having 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks at Easter, and all of those half-term holidays. But the beauty of what I'm doing now is that because I'm working from my laptop, if I've got an internet connection, I can work anywhere. I can pick and choose how to work, where to work, and all that work that I need to get done can be done so long as I've got my laptop and an internet connection. I know I'm really lucky, but maybe luck doesn't come into it. Maybe perseverance and resilience and working hard to achieve what I want to achieve now actually is more important than luck. My big dream over the next 5 years is to continue growing my online business so that when all the kids have grown up, they've left home, they're going off to do their own things, Steve and I are going to have the freedom to go and travel and to spend time together traveling this amazing world because of what I'm building now. So I'm putting in all of that hard work to have that online business that is going to continue working for me and my family into the future. I'm putting in all that effort now so that in 5-6 years' time, it'll all pay off. I don't ever remember when I was teaching making plans past that term or that school year. I would only ever work in short blocks and sort of work at a half term at a time, and then what am I going to do for that holiday, and then we'd plan ahead for the next one. But I never worked very far in advance of myself, and I never really set long-term goals. Maybe there was a part of me that didn't see the point in setting long-term goals, because I know full well when I get to that school holiday, the next school year, it's just going to be exactly the same. Whereas now, setting those goals is so exciting because I want to see what I can make happen between now and then. So really, my message for this podcast episode is, if you are only staying in teaching for the school holidays, have a look around and see what else is out there. You do not need all of that holiday when you are not a teacher, because you don't need the recovery time. You can carry on because you can take a bit of time here and a bit of time there. You don't need a week's holiday at the end of a half term to recover and recuperate. I was talking to my grandma this week in her piano lesson, and we were saying about job roles and how they've changed. And honestly, I believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, most people will be earning an income from online businesses. Whether that's through social media or a business you've created or just a side hustle that you've set up, I think that most people will be able to earn money from online businesses. If you haven't started yet, you're going to get behind. So catch up, let's do it together, and let's see if we can build some businesses online that are going to pay us a decent amount of money so that we can be free and financially free and location free. Work from anywhere on your laptop. As long as you've got that Wi-Fi connection, you're away. I hope you have a think about, what is your dream? What do you want to do? What have you always dreamt of doing? Start thinking about how you can put plans in place to achieve those dreams. And don't be held back by the fear of the unknown and the familiarity of routines that you're currently in. Don't let that stop you from pursuing your dream. You don't need the school holidays when you're not a teacher. You really don't. But that being said, go and have a lovely half-term week. Enjoy spending some time doing what you want to do before it's time to jump back into the next half-term the week after. Have a great week. I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Teacher's Compass podcast. If you found this episode helpful, click on the link in the show notes for more resources and support. Don't forget to leave a review on whichever app you choose to listen to us on. Your feedback helps us to reach more teachers just like you. See you next time.